Hi all, I'm Chris Melke. I am the founder of AI Renegade, an AI agency and an AI enthusiast. And today we're going to talk about Vectorshift. So Vectorshift, we're going to build an AI agent in Vectorshift. So it's a no-code platform. So it's just like the other ones we've looked at. Loop is one of the other competitors that they have. So Vectorshift was a Y Combinator, came out of that incubator in 2023. So this goes through some of the highlights is that they've raised an additional $3 million in February of 2024. The founders are Alexander Leonardi, who's formerly a data science analyst at Blackstone, and Albert Ma, who is with McKinsey. So if you look on Y Combinator, this goes through some of their items from their launch. But let's jump right into Vectorshift AI. So if you go to vectorshift.ai, it'll bring up this page here. And it'll go through how it uses its pipelines to build with no code. And then it also has a code SDK if you want to do that. It has a marketplace with pre-use cases, and it has agents to execute complex tasks, and you can use search. It has integrations and also uses all large language models. So if you want to scroll through that all the way down, you could take a look, but let's just dive in creating an agent with Vectorshift. So I'm already logged in with my Google account, and this is what it brings up. It brings up your home page. So I have the free plan. Let's take a look at the free plan. It has one pipeline. So that's the thing is if you build this pipeline, you only get one. That's all you get. And then you get the chat bot and then one voice bot and then $1 free AI credits on sign up. And then if you need more, you can always add in your own API key. Standard is $25 a month, everything for free, plus you get 5 pipelines, you get more actions, and then Pro is everything in standard, and you get a ton of stuff with this. So that's what their subscription is. So let's go back to Pipeline Builder, back to settings, and then out of there. So that's what their plans are offering. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new pipeline. So we go in here, create a new pipeline. And what it does is that it brings us a whole bunch of things we can create. So what we want to do is actually just do a chatbot template. So we've done the chatbot. We're going to look at each individual step here, and it's got some nice post-it notes for us to walk us through how this works. So we're going to use this base chatbot because it's very powerful. It's built very well. Just looking through some things up here. You'll notice here is that it uses all the latest models. You can add those. That's your knowledge base. You can add things to the knowledge base. We can do that. All the integrations are here, and if you keep scrolling over, it'll just keep running off the screen. And then your triggers are from, maybe you need an Outlook or Gmail, but these are probably for higher end, so that's why they're blocked off. But let's just go back to the first page. So what we're looking at here is that we're going to, with any chatbot, you're going to have a user message. This is going to be the input that we input through the chatbot. It's going out and it's going to prompt the LLM. And also it's going to go out and prompt and look at the knowledge base. So what it says here is that querying the knowledge base returns most relevant pieces to an LLM across data sources. Ensure and create and select the knowledge base. Okay, so we're going to build a knowledge base. It's going to be pretty easy. We're not going to have too many pieces in our knowledge base, but we're going to build one. So let's go and create a new knowledge base. And we're going to name it Project Charter. Because we're going to build the chatbot, since I'm a project manager, that looks at a project charter, and then it's going to give us information from that project charter. So we're going to go over here. We're going to browse the files for drag and drop. I have a project charter that's here. We're going to open that. And then we're going to hit finish. So right now it's uploading our project charter. It doesn't take that long. So 10 seconds. If we want to preview it. So what it's done is actually gone in here and chunked up this project charter. So what chunks are is that these are pieces of information that the LLM can reference, and it's going to go through, and it's way easier just doing one big chunk of text. So if we want to look at our project charter, we can do this. So here's our project charter. So this is the document I provided it. It said, here's your AI-powered budgeting app. So what I have is a banking app, budgeting app I'm building for a bank. This is fictitious. It basically goes through the project purpose, strategic alignment, shows that everybody is aligned on the goals, the key objectives, the critical success factors, the background, the business case, the problem statement, scope, out of scope, deliverables, acceptance criteria, the key stakeholders, has some timelines in here, resource requirements, how risk and governance is handled, mitigation strategies, escalation path. So that is a project charter. And what it's done is chunked all this information down so that the LLM can reference it. So let's close that out and let's go back to our pipeline. And we're going to go back in and name this pipeline, and we're going to edit it, and we're going to call it project charter bot pipeline. So right now it's accessing the knowledge base. So it has project charter as the knowledge base. And when it gets a query, it's going to look through this project charter. So that's pretty easy to do. So right now we're going to go in here and describe how the LLM should behave. So right now we're going to delete this because it's a nice post-it note. And we're just going to use they give us some free tokens. They said to give us $1, and usually these don't take that much. So we can go to chat for latest. If you wanted to only use your own personal API key, you can add that there. So within the prompt, what you want to do is this is all the context and data, how it's handled each run. And then when we add variables, we're going to add these to open the variable builder. So that's what we're going to do. So, and then the other thing you'll notice down here is the chat memory. So anything we have in a memory of chat, you can see that the LLM allows us to reference the conversation history. So what we're going to do is actually, I have formulated a nice system instruction to give to the chatbot about our LLM. So let's go in here, and I'm just going to click on this, and I'm going to say, this is my virtual assistant to the PMO. So if we looked at this system prompt, it just says that my role and purpose is responsible for providing accurate and structured information. What it's doing is it's pulling in this input 0 text. So if you look over here, input 0 is a variable. So I'm just pulling in this variable, and I'm saying that your responses should align directly to the source content, and I'm pulling in the variable for what knowledge base 0 chunks is. So it's basically going through here and saying, hey, here's your question. Your context is in the knowledge base. And see how this lights up as green? This is the path it's following. So it's going all the way back here, looking at the input, going through the knowledge base, checking it out, and then responding, also using chat history. So it's these three variables are going off and gathering the data that we need, and then it's also keeping it in memory. So going back to this, so we've got the chat memory, so that's down here. You notice that when I had that up, the chat memory, and then you're going to make sure it has like all this in memory so that it has constant communication. We're going to go through the goal, make sure that they're not fabricating information. We're going to identify the purpose of the inquiry. We're going to use chat input 0 text to determine the specific topic the user is talking about, and then the knowledge base 0 chunks, and use the input and relevant details from the question. And then basically it's like, here's an example, summarize the objectives and the scope. And then, if provide key milestones for the project charter, all the information is gathered through the knowledge base. So we go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is just going to copy and paste this in here. And I'm just going to select all this, get rid of it. And notice what it's done is it's taken those curly brackets, updated it with variables. So I have input 01 text, the knowledge base. I'm looking at the chat memory, and I'm going through and inputting. So this is done a little bit of prompt engineering here, and so that's ready to go. So the other thing we want to do is to make sure that this flows correctly. I'm going to turn on stream responses. So it's going to go through, instead of maxing out these tokens and stuff like that, we're going to stream the response. It seems to work better that way instead of, and it won't blow any buffers out, which is nice. So we can go ahead and do that. So now we have our final step we're going to check is that it has output. So output is basically the OpenAI response it's going to grab. I'm trying to delete that because it's in the way. So OpenAI response is basically what's being generated from OpenAI. Notice here under OpenAI that if you have your own personal API key, you can add that there. So let's check this out and run it. We're going to run this pipeline. We're going to use the chatbot. And we're going to say, what is the project scope? And so notice here it's gone off. It's creating the request and bringing it back. So now you can see here, which is pretty cool, that you see what the output is, and you say in scope items, and it says here, mobile app, out of scope, deliverables, acceptance criteria. So you can see that it's pulling from the knowledge base all these items that are here and giving it back to the user, which is pretty cool. So it can go out and find all this. You can see that, the output runtime was very quick. You can see all the runtime status and then all the items that are output and then the output status. So this is all recorded in here. So this is nice because now this is actually returning all these items and, basically trying to, if you have any questions on the project charter, it's bringing it back. So I'm going to say, is the again, here's another thing that's bringing it back. The escalate is as follows: the project manager, executive sponsor are addressed. So, like I said, so now you've done very little work. You've added a prompt, you've added this knowledge base, and basically you have an AI chatbot ready to go looking at stuff. So, I mean, the nice thing is that if you're a project manager, you can take and do this and basically run this chatbot and in this app, and then you can actually take and use this with your team. So also the thing too is you can share this. If you want to share an object, all the rest of that stuff, you can go ahead and do that. So if you need to share this with someone, you can do that. And right now you have a fully functioning chatbot that's here. So if you're a project manager of a large project that you want to input your knowledge base into, this is the perfect tool to do this for. And then the other thing too is you can deploy your changes. Say you have this on a website or something like that, you can deploy it to wherever you need it to have. So the nice thing is that you can go out, create this chatbot. It can sit on a company website and you can actually access it. So this is Vectorshift. So thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. I'll include the files that I put in here for the demo. And if you appreciate me exploring new tools like this and bringing new agents to your attention, please like and subscribe below. And thanks you very much.